Welcome to Fandom Family Chats. I'm your host, Maureen, and tonight we have with us Amanda.
Hello.
And Jeanette.
Hi.
And Eve.
Hey.
And we are joined by our very special guest, Shelby Surdom. She is from Cruel Summer.
Yay!
Good TV show.
Yes. We were talking beforehand about how Jeanette, I think, and Amanda were the first two to get on board with Cruel Summer. And we have 11 Facebook groups together that Jeanette and Amanda started, but we all help run. Mm-hmm. And so in one of our chats, they were like, "Oh, this show is great. It's so good." And we're like, what are you talking about? What is this show? And then she got like every one of us, there's at least 11 of us that they got hooked onto the show in our group. They were like, can't stop.
Yeah. It's so good.
Yeah.
I feel like everyone, like, once you get started, the whole like mystery of it all, like, you're just like intrigued. My mom is obsessed, and then she got everyone in her friend group. She's a teacher. She got every one of the teachers to watch it, and they always come up to her and they're like, "Hey, like, can you like tell us anything?"
Of course.
I was like, yeah, no idea.
Shelby doesn't need to keep her job. It's all right. You can tell us all the inside information.
Exactly.
Right.
Tell us everything.
Yeah.
It's not really important.
I got my mom and my aunt and my cousins and everybody's watching it. And I'm just like, I usually watch every episode about 3 times. So I'm just really trying to figure out what's going on. I still have no idea.
You have to.
Yeah. You do.
Yes.
So we have some questions for you, and we even have some of our members from our Facebook group, which is growing steadily every day. We have multiple requests every day to join our Cruel Summer Facebook group, but they have also submitted some questions that we're going to get to at the end for you.
Awesome. I can't wait to hear. Literally, they like make the show.
They do.
Because I hear all their theories and they're just so good. Like, they're just so like into it. It makes it for us.
Now, taking yourself out of your role in the show, and you play Tennille, just in case you guys are uncertain of that, but has there been a theory that you've had? Because I watched an interview with Jessica Biel, and she said she didn't let you guys know what was actually happening until the end. So was there a theory you had that maybe even in the earlier episodes, that was proven right?
I know. So, like, what happened was we were all confused.
Yeah.
Oh, so we're not alone.
Yeah. Any friend who's like, I'm very confused. You're not alone. We were too. And then finally, I know as a cast, we were like all talking, and then we were always proven wrong. So then we would have to come up with new ones. But I remember Tia, who was our showrunner, was like, I'm going to put this to rest. We're all going to come on a Zoom and we'll tell you what happens, but not episode 9 or 10. We're just going up to episode 8. And so everyone was just like, tell us everything. And she told us a little bit. I was completely wrong on a lot of stuff. I remember I was like, with the liar note, which episode is fast, I was like, who wrote this? Who wrote it? And I thought it was like Tennille and Renee. I was like, those bitches. They must have been they must have been pissed off or something, and they just like put it on the door. And then to find out that it was the mom in that heartbreaking moment with them. Oh my god, Olivia and so good. I was gonna cry. I was like tearing up. I was like, oh my god. And to find out that it was her, I was like so shocked. But I was like, it really does like make sense, especially with a small town like that. So I remember that was like a huge thing, and I got wrong.
It was the first thing I got right.
She called it.
She did. She called it.
I gloat about it on our weekly chats with it too.
But, I guess I'm pretty smart.
I got one of 50 things right, but that means I'm brilliant.
There we go.
Jeanette, do you have some questions for Shelby?
Yeah. Did you always know that you wanted to be in the entertainment industry?
Yeah, I think I know I started like pretty young. I did like theater, and then I transitioned into film in like 7th grade. I mean, at the heart of theater and film, it's just acting. They're the same thing. It's just in like a different setting. But then I did that for like a very long time, And then I finally started booking stuff. I did acting classes, and now I'm like here, and I'm like, this is also new. This is like the biggest thing that I've ever like done. So I just feel like you can only go up from here.
That's right.
Yeah, definitely.
Were you involved in a lot of theater productions? We have quite a few of our staff, well, I call them staff, but admins that are really, really into theater. What was your favorite one that you did?
I did like 10 plus shows. It was all
wow.
like, oh yeah, I was very like involved in it. I'm trying to think.
What was your favorite one?
Probably Just So Stories, but I played a tortoise. But it was great because I had my own like solo song about like being a tortoise, and I was like, this is everything.
Awesome. I love it.
I love it.
So do you also sing then?
Yes, not good. Let's just start. I did like what is it? I like got a coach because I was like, I want to be so good. Like my whole like dream when I was younger was like, I want to go on Broadway. And then I was like, I mean, I live in a small Texas town, and I was like, how am I gonna get to New York? Like, I was like, how am I gonna do that? Like, and then I was like, took a step back, and I was like, okay, you know, I'm gonna try to do like film, and I'm really happy that it did. But yeah, I took like singing lessons, I took dance lessons. I was like, I want to be the best.
Yeah. That's like the 50s. I'm obsessed with the 50s. That's like the Dean Martin of film. He can sing, he can dance, he can act. If you got all that, then you're golden.
I know. I was like, I want to be a triple threat. No.
Absolutely.
We actually have quite a few Texans as admins. Amanda is also a Texan.
Oh my gosh. Where in Texas?
Dallas.
Where?
Dallas.
Oh, that's where Cruel Summer was filmed. It was filmed in Dallas.
Yep.
Didn't
A
you
lot of the
find-
filming places are like less
Yeah.
than 10, 15 minutes away from me.
Oh my gosh. That's great. I went to acting classes in Dallas.
Oh, did you?
Yes. So I'm from Austin, Texas. So I would drive like 3 hours to
Yeah.
go to my acting class. But we filmed for the mall. It was like 10 minutes away from my acting class. I was like, this is so strange. Like, worked so hard and I could just walk on over.
That's awesome. Yeah, we looked, somebody had in the Facebook group
Mhm.
put up the different locations, and I was like, oh, I know that. Hey, I know that. And like, I was thinking back and I'm like, I knew that mall looked familiar. And I thought I was just, being in my head. I
No,
was like, oh, okay.
so there.
I've been there.
Yeah, my mom was like, oh my gosh, we've been in that mall before. So I felt really good. And not only that, but the mall was still opened while we were filming. So yeah, there's like a lower level and an upper level. So in the upper level, you can just see people like doing their shopping and then also like taking pictures like.
Oh, really? Well, I'm gonna go back and watch that now. See if I can catch any of that.
Oh,
So
definitely.
I was like, hi.
I suppose it's a big space and you don't want to pay extras to fill that space. That would be an exorbitant expense.
We did have
Yeah.
extras. They really, oh my gosh, amazing. Everyone on that team like makes it. But because of like COVID and everything, it was like we have to keep like the numbers, make sure that we use, the same people. So that was always so great because it was like a family. I was like, oh, hi.
Oh, that's nice.
What was it like to film in COVID? Can you speak to that a little bit?
Yeah, it was like so strange. First we did this. It was like 2 weeks. Hey guys, we're going to be filming. COVID starts becoming a thing. And then it was like, hey, we're going to put it on hold for a week. Hey, we're going to put it on hold for 2 weeks. And that 2 weeks just went into months. And then we, of course, had the safety guidelines, CDC, like put those in place, and we just followed it to a T. I remember hair and makeup being like mask, shield, glasses, like gloves. They looked like surgeons instead of like makeup artists.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, they were like, yeah, we can't even put our brush in the palette. Like, we have to take like the rubber glove or a tissue, scrub it in, then do it, then go in.
Ugh.
Like it was
Wow.
a whole thing that they had to do. Also, everyone on set had to wear safety glasses and a mask, shield. It was like even when we were practicing for a scene, we would always have to wear our mask. And then it was like, okay, put it in your pocket, film it, put it back on. So, and a part of me is like, I'm like, did I see everyone's faces? I'm like, I don't even know if I would recognize anyone in some of the crew because all I saw was half of them.
Yeah.
But I felt really safe too. Like we took it very seriously. We had to take COVID tests three times a week, even
wow.
more. So everything was just put in line.
Well, it's good you felt safe.
Mm-hmm.
Exactly.
Yeah. That's the most important thing.
So what was it about this role that drew you to it?
I remember I got the full pilot, and I'm a lover of mysteries, and like kind of like this kind of thriller aspect of it, this whodunit of it all, and that just really intrigued me. I think I even sent a photo to my mom because I didn't want her to know what it was yet. So it's just like my hand covering like a stack full of papers, and I'm like, if I don't get this, I'm gonna be so sad. I'm gonna cry. So if I call you crying, this is why.
You know why.
So it's just like the story of it. And plus,
Mhm,
like
mhm.
for Tennille, and I didn't audition for Tennille. I auditioned for a completely different character. But for Tennille, I was like, I've never done this before. I'm homeschooled. I'm not popular. I'm not like schooling of it all. The coolness aspect. I'm like, it's not. I'm like, that's not me. But thank you for believing that I could play that so much. And like she has like this kind of sass, this meanness to her, that's just like out of this world. Like she'll say something or do something, and it's like you don't even know if that's the truth. You just heard it from someone else. So it's just like, but that's what happens in like small towns. It happens in life.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely.
Yeah. So what was the filming process like where it jumps the timelines? Like, did you all film all of like 93 and then move on to 94? Or did you all go back and forth?
We went back and forth. Huge hands to Olivia and Kiara. They are so brilliant. They had to jump back and forth between like not like if I have to film today, they had already probably filmed a scene prior for 95. And now they're jumping back to 93. So it's like they had to jump back to them kind of being like this innocent self and being kind of like happy and go with the flow, really being like kids in 93. Like that's what they were. And now in 95, it's very dark, it's very gritty, it's hard and sad. So all of that we were flipping back and forth.
Wow.
That had to be really hard to keep track.
Hard to keep track. Yeah. I remember I'd be like, yeah, I don't think I would wear these earrings or like in like 93 or hair and makeup. Like everyone was super collaborative of everything. So
because the characters change so much too. So you'd have to keep in mind, it's like, how am I supposed to be in 93? But now it's 95. So you have to act a little different based on what year it is.
Oh yeah, it was definitely like a challenge, but I know like music really helped me a lot. I made like a playlist.
Oh, that's brilliant.
Oh, that's really cool.
Yeah, maybe one day I'll like put it out.
Yes.
But you know, it had like Nirvana, it had Fade Into You, which they actually like used in the show, which I'm really happy about. And bands 10, I love them.
We're waiting for Nirvana to appear on the show, by the way.
Oh, me too. I'm like, can we do it? Do that. And then Olivia did a song today, The Smashing Pumpkins, which is so beautiful. She did that in Dallas, and it's just I like cried when I heard it.
Yeah, we've heard a couple of her songs now, and she's amazing.
So good. Oh, I
Yeah.
love her.
I had no idea she sang until Amanda pointed out that one of the song in one of our chats, she's like, "Did you guys recognize what song that was?" No.
The ice skating, the skating rink.
Mhm.
Mhm.
Yeah.
I was like, I knew the voice, and I was like, I know that voice, and I had to like Shazam on my phone. I was like, who is that?
Yeah.
And came back, Olivia. I was like, oh, that's why it sounds familiar to me.
Mhm.
Duh.
And what I love about your character too is that you don't just see alterations from year to year, but even as the episodes go on. Because my note every week is usually, "Oh man, Tennille and Renee are vapid people." Like, that's usually what my note is. But on last week's episode, on episode 8, when you had very subtly, I think, said to Ben, "Speaking of lovers," wow, that's a segue
Yeah.
right there.
We love that line.
Yes.
But when he rejected you, and I just the way that you chose to go that way with your character and the expression on your face, that was the first time I felt sorry for Tennille, where I felt that maybe there was something deeper in her character other than just vapid, that maybe there is a reason that she's reaching for this. And so I love how you have chosen to play out that character.
Mm-hmm.
No, I remember talking to Tia about this and being like, I don't want to just be a mean girl.
Mm-hmm.
There's so
Mhm.
much. Each character is so human. You know, they should be real people. And the same goes with Kate. She's not a mean girl.
Yeah.
You know,
Mhm.
she has so many layers to her.
Yeah.
And so when they told me about like Ben and everything and kind of going into that direction, and just like that whole thing of like Renee being like, whatever. And then, but also for his character, Jamie snickering and
Mhm.
laughing. It takes real
Mhm.
balls to ask a guy out.
Yeah.
It takes
Absolutely.
real guts, you know?
Yeah.
But then to be rejected, and I think as a girl, it's like you're feeling closed in,
Mhm.
and then you just take out your anger.
Yeah.
Yeah. Really
like
in front of everybody.
Mhm.
Yeah, it's just a domino effect if you think about it. Each and every one. Like
Mhm.
if that didn't happen, then this wouldn't have happened.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I know it's
Mhm.
partly the writing, but I think that the way that you chose to play out that part, but because Tennille chose not to explode on the popular kids. She chose to explode on the vulnerable ones, who had nothing to do with the situation at all. And that
Just passing by.
exactly. And that reminded me of so my 2-year-old just came into the room. She's supposed to be upstairs. That reminded me of the episode where Tennille finds when Tanya, that's a really hard, it's a joke every week. It's hard for me to say Tanya. I don't know why. But when she goes into your room and she wants you to clean up, she wants you to do all this stuff. And you said, what is it? The social worker who's here. Did you have a backstory on Tennille that connects that dot? Or is that just, do you know anything about Tennille pre Cruel Summer?
I wrote stuff for like myself,
Mhm.
but what's so funny is it was very similar to how we all like connected it, because I was like, her dad's not in her life.
Mhm.
I knew that from the very beginning. I was like, her dad is not present at all. And then when that was in the script, I was like, oh cool, I was really right on the money.
Mhm.
I was right there. And I'm hoping that it gets explored more, because she even tells the principal that the money that they are getting is not her real dad. So I'm hoping we can explore more of who her real dad is.
Yeah.
You know, is it someone that we know? Is it someone like, who is it? Who's my dad? The real father. But no, I thought that was like really great. But then also when Tanya is like, don't speak about it, and puts Tennille in her place as a mom does, was like, I remember when that happened, I was like, oh, I'm scared.
I'm in trouble.
I'm in trouble.
And I think it was the way that Tanya had responded to your social worker request that made me think that maybe there was something that could be explored in Tennille a little more of. Was there some sort of abuse? Was there something Tennille knows that maybe we don't see yet?
Yeah, I mean, the whole thing was Jeanette also knows.
Mhm.
So, I mean, she's in that closet. She heard everything Tanya said. And I
Oh,
think the whole thing was like, don't tell Tennille because Tennille doesn't know fully
Yeah.
what's going on. She probably knows a little bit, suspects,
Mhm.
but I think at the end of the day, not fully grasping.
Mhm.
But they're also so young. She's only 16, you know, or like throughout those years, you know, 16, 17,
Right.
18. Which is so, when you think about it and the thing, like the whole scheme of things, it's like, God, they're so young and they're going through so much.
Oh yeah.
They're not processing a lot of what's happening.
Mm-hmm. That makes sense. See, I think that there's a whole option for a season 2 on these other characters.
That's what I'm saying. I'm really hopeful. Like everyone was so ecstatic when we saw that we were like the highest pilot and that so many
Mhm.
people were watching it. I remember like I just like screamed. I was like, oh my gosh, that's so cool.
Oh, that's awesome.
But no, I'm very hopeful. I can definitely see things going that way for a season 2.
We see
Yeah.
it too.
Fingers
hope so.
crossed.
So it, like, in what ways would you say that you're, you know, different or even similar to your character?
We look the same. No.
Right, there's that. There's
We
that.
really do. I think there's a lot of stuff I feel like that we're very different on, just because again, homeschooled. I don't consider myself to be popular. Even my 2 sisters are cooler than me. They really are. I think similarity wise, I think that Renee and Tennille, there's a loyalty there.
Mhm.
They have been
Mhm.
together throughout those 3 years, always together,
Yeah.
thick as thieves. And I actually knew Aaliyah prior. I've known her for 3 years, and that's how I felt with her. I was like, we're really not acting when we're together because like we already are like such close friends.
Mhm.
So
That's
I think
nice.
like
That's
that
cool.
loyalty
Yeah,
with her is there.
I love that.
that's cool. Well, I just have one more question, and then we can, you know, get on to see what some of our Facebook group had to say. And it's just a kind of a fun one. Like, is there any TV shows or any actors or actresses that you would just love the chance to work with?
Really, Reese Witherspoon.
Mhm.
I adore Reese Witherspoon so much. I just look up to her. Legally Blonde was something I would like put on the TV, and I'd be like,
Yes.
okay, I got to do my works too. We're both doing this. You're going to law school. I got to do my math. Parks and Rec, Amy Poehler. I love that show a lot. And I also watch New Girl a lot.
Oh, yes.
Love that one.
Love
Sorry.
New Girl.
I really, really like the show.
So do I.
It is my favorite.
Can I ask who's your
So-
favorite character on New Girl? Or your favorite
Okay, I
dynamic,
would-
rather?
Okay, my favorite dynamic might be Nick and Schmidt. I like them as friends, but I also like Nick and Jess just because I'm like
Yeah,
I'm like,
yes,
you're so
yeah.
cute. But I don't think Jess is my favorite character. I
No.
like that she's in the group,
Yes.
but I'm really more interested in really the guys of it because they're just so funny. They're so funny. They really do like make the show.
Yes.
Absolutely.
my
Totally
favorite.
agree. Yeah.
Schmidt's my favorite too.
Schmidt is so funny.
I love Schmidt.
Plus, I mean,
Mhm.
there's so much great material that you can use in everyday life from Schmidt.
Mhm.
Yes.
Oh yeah. And there's like one line of like, has anyone seen my driving moccasins?
I remember that.
That's what I need to start incorporating.
No.
Well, speaking of like different actors, when you were on the set, was there someone that you spent more time with on the set, or someone that you maybe connected more as you were filming Cruel Summer?
Me and Aaliyah were like really close. We shared like a trailer together, so really we would just like open the thing and be like, "Hi, this is Lauren." I really also we had no scenes together, but I really vibed with Harley a lot. She was She's so great. It was always great when the whole cast was in a sequence, like the carnival, or in that in one episode, like during the lunch for episode 8,
Hmm.
everyone was there. Any mall scene, everyone was there. So I always felt really good when all of like the teens or young adult cast was available, like Kiara and Olivia and Troy. It just felt really like natural. Like there really was like no like bad apples, to say the least. It was just like we could all joke around and laugh. So yeah.
What was it like? Because Jessica Biel is the executive producer, correct? Did she have a part in creating the show as well?
She just executive produces, but
Okay.
she does see stuff from behind the scenes. So it's like, hey, but she was there for the pilot episode, and I met her. So great. I did not want to fangirl in front of her. I remember texting my mom being like, I might meet Jessica Biel today. I don't know. I might.
No big deal.
No big deal, Mom. I'll tell you if like Justin is there. No.
Just another day at work.
Just another day. But she was actually so nice. I remember being like, okay, don't freak out. Just be cool. Just be human. And then she was like, hey, like, would you guys want to have like lunch on set with me? And I was like, yeah, sure. Like, this is my life. I feel so good. This is amazing. But she's so nice. She just wanted to get to know everyone on that set, to cast, to crew, wanted to know like, oh, well, where do you see yourself in 5 years? What do you think of like this? She was just so lovely and nice. I felt like just very good about it.
That's awesome. Now she was a product of the 90s. Like she was a teen in the 90s.
Mhm.
You were not a teen in the 90s.
No, I'm
So-
a 99 baby. I can't even say that I'm a 90s baby.
Yep.
99 is not a 90s baby.
We are significant. Some of us are significantly older than you are. But
Yeah,
was there now when I watched the show, it's like, oh, I remember that. Oh, that's my high school years. But was there something in the show that you brought up that you were maybe like, what is this for? What is the purpose of this? You could do this better.
Since it was like 90s, I remember like my hair, like there would be like certain hairstyles.
You had that one right here a lot, right in the center of your head.
This one, and then it was like banana, some like they would call it.
Oh, the banana clips.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then there was crimping, crimped hair.
Have
But
one
I
of those?
actually really liked that one. I was like, I might be bringing this back if I can figure it out. And then, but they would be like, oh yeah, Jessica, she used to have this hairstyle. I like did it for her one time in the 90s. And I was like, it feels so good. But then also there was like certain sayings that I was like, what? But I guess that's like us, like certain slang that they would use, like
Mhm.
fat or like,
Yeah.
AT.
PHAT fat. Yeah.
and then there was a line where I poke fun at Jeanette's mom, like, your mom's a has-been and everyone knows it, like, but I was saying it wrong for a lot of the time, and they're like, hey, like, this is how you're supposed to say it, because this.
When you called Cindy a freak show has been.
Yes, I was saying it.
Yeah.
Your mom's a freak show, has been, and everyone knows it, but it's
Has
Yep.
been. Yeah.
I was like saying it completely wrong, and they're like, yeah, no, it's like this, it's just like a little thing.
Is there like a pop culture thing that you actually walked away going, I really want to watch that movie, or I really like that music? Like you said, you created your own playlist. Was there something that you maybe hadn't heard before that you're like, I think I'm gonna do this a lot more?
I started watching 90210.
We were just talking
Aw.
about that the other day in our group.
The original, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Good.
I was like, oh yeah, what would Tennille watch? Like, what would she watch on TV? And so I looked up, there was like a ton of movies that I'd already seen from the 90s. So I was like, okay, I already know those. What's a TV show? And then I was like, 90210.
That's
And I
gold.
remember texting Tia and being like, oh my gosh, Froy looks like this person. This is so weird. I was like, he really is the 90s heartthrob. I
Yep.
can totally like
Mhm.
see it. So that was fun. I also, again, like with the whole like music, I listened to like Biggie. I was like, okay, Notorious B.I.G.
Yep, we know who
yeah.
that is.
Yeah.
Of course we know
Biggie
who it is.
Smalls.
I was like, okay. I listened to Tupac a little bit too. But I was like, okay. So that was like very interesting just because it's not like my personal like music choice of it all. But I was like, I feel like Tennille would like listen to that. I mean, she had like boxers. She would wear, you know, like men's boxers, which I think I want to bring back. I think I want to start doing that.
Oh, I hope that one never comes back. I always hated that one.
I like the Diesel pants too. They were huge. Those pants
Yes.
are huge.
Yep.
I had some.
Mhm.
I'll just go ahead and totally admit it. I had a pair.
Pictures.
I wish I had kept them too.
Yep,
Right.
They were really comfortable.
they were.
Mhm.
There were so many like baggy pants, but then tight shirts.
Yep.
Yeah, the shirts that were like this big.
Mhm.
Yep.
Yeah, show your midriff. Yeah.
Yep.
Oh, I had probably 20 shirts that were like probably like this big when you did not have them on and they stretched
Yep.
to
Yep.
you. You guys remember those?
Yep.
And
I do.
and it
I
would
do.
like show your entire stomach and
Mhm.
I
And
had
then
the
your
belly
pants had to
button
be
ring
pulled
and
up above your
everything.
belly button, so it was just a little bit under your chest and above your belly button.
Yep.
Mhm.
I'm a
That's-
youth leader at our youth group, and I gotta tell you, those styles are making a comeback. And I like to look at every
Oh.
one of them and say, I was cool before you were.
Remember.
3 times
love
older than you, but I was definitely cooler than you. So when you were on set, did you have a favorite place to be? Not not necessarily filming, but just a favorite place to hang out. Did you have that availability with COVID, or was it just your trailer that you had to be in between?
There was times where we would like just sit on our set chairs and we could all like, you know, talk with the cast and everything, which was like very nice. Like Olivia she's really good at impersonations. She's if you ask her to do an impersonation of Harley, it's spot on to what like who
Oh, wow.
Harley is. And also
That sounds fun.
yeah, and also the person who plays like Martin too, she can do his impersonation so well. She's really funny. She
I
has
feel like we
great
need some
stories
videos
too.
of that.
So
Mhm.
when we were at the fair, we would be like, okay, this is like a fair, like a carnival, and there was like a stage. I was like, okay, well, it's your go-to song. Like, get up there, Olivia, go.
Yes.
Get it.
What about your favorite scene to film? Did you have one of those?
Mm,
Or even just the area that you filmed?
That you can say so far.
Yes.
honestly, probably the carnival because we could ride the rides on there.
Oh,
Ooh.
that's cool.
Yeah, so I did like the bumper cards because I'm scared of heights. So I was like, this is safe. This is safe.
Where was the carnival set up?
Oh, it's actually like a real place. Oh my gosh, I'm gonna space on it, but it's an actual real place that you guys can actually go to, like, to
Oh,
the
okay.
carnival.
I'll have to look it up.
Was it Galveston? I think it might have been in Galveston. I could be so
Oh
wrong.
wow,
though.
way down there.
I feel like now I need to visit my family in Texas.
Texas is great. Texas is just where I love to be.
I have family in Humble, so
Oh, okay.
I know Humble.
Yeah.
I don't know Humble because I'm not a humble person. But that was a dad joke. That was a real bad dad joke. Sorry. When you have kids, that just comes out naturally. So,
But
what is your opinion of your character?
like as Tennille, I understand her. Like I can go into her shoes and be like, I know why you're doing this, or I know why you act this way. But then when I step out, I'm like, ah, Queen, stop. Like, stop, be nice. It's okay. You know, you're gonna get past this age, and you're just gonna like rethink certain things. But yeah, when I remember being like, I'll be in the trailer, I'm like, God, why are we so mean? Like, why can't we just be nice?
So
But
what
then
is, you said you understand Tennille. What is it you understand about her? Why do you think she is the way she is?
I think that there's like, for me, it's like, okay, I understand why she gets angry or like pissed off. Like when she goes at Jeanette, or why it's so like flip-floppy for her, because it's like, yeah, I was friends with Kate and she was really good and she went missing, you know, and the utter shock of it all, of being like, she's alive, you know, and wanting to be friends, you know, with Kate still. But then Kate doesn't want to be, you know, and it's a tough thing. Like, that is
Mhm.
tough to lose a friend. But then you have Jeanette, and it's like, did you know? Did you actually see her? You know, we were cool, and now I don't know who you are. You know, you used to hang out at my house. But did you see my used to be best friend? You know, and if you did, F you. You know, so it's like, because everyone's saying that you did,
Mhm.
you're not really saying anything.
Yeah.
So I understood, like, at that point, because like they're running to hang out with Kate.
Yeah.
They want to be her friend. But Kate has had so much happen to her, and I don't think that they're at that level to really understand.
Yeah. That makes sense. I can get behind that. So in terms of that, there was the scene in 95 when you and Renee, well, it's not her real name's not Renee, but when Tennille and Renee are talking to the cameras, and it's like you're just trying to keep up your popularity. Do you think that Tennille and Renee go where the wind blows, or do you think they actually have a stance on whether they believe Kate or Jeanette?
I think they go where the wind blows.
Yeah.
I think that they listen to other people. You know,
Yeah.
this is the whole thing of like, are you a leader or a follower? They'll follow.
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah, they're definitely followers.
You know, and I understand that, and it's a tough thing. That's my dog. It's a tough thing. It's a tough thing, you know, to like see, because you would think that, you know, they would look at it from a bigger picture.
Mm-hmm.
But at the same time, I'm like, maybe it's age. You know, you don't want to step on anyone's toes, so it's just like, yeah, let me just follow what these other kids my age, what other adults are saying, and I'll stick with that.
That's
And
true.
then, of course, like, you know, Tanya is going on TV. She
Yep.
sees her mother, you know, like mother, like daughter, you know, seeing that, that's what she is.
Mhm.
That was a whole like thing. She was like, yeah, you are your mother's daughter because you want to like, you emulate her.
Yeah, that makes
Oh.
sense. And especially since she has no relationship with her dad, her mom's all she's got.
Exactly.
Who do
Like,
you
often
believe?
Who do I, as Shelby?
Yes. Without giving any, pretend 9 and 10, you have no knowledge of 9 and 10.
Okay.
Who do you stand with? Kate or Jeanette?
I think like people mix it up. I think Kate was kidnapped. Like, that man is creepy as hell.
Yes.
That man is a groomer. That's a grown ass adult.
Mhm.
You know, she's 16, a kid, a child. That happened. Now, whether Jeanette saw her, which is what the suing is, what the case is about, I don't know. I don't think that she did. And that's coming as Shelby Surdam. That is not coming as a character. That is me, Shelby, speaking. I'm not sure Jeanette did see her. I think there's something completely else.
I stand with you on that.
Yeah, that's what we were thinking
Yeah.
as well.
I think it's just a huge like oopsie, like it's just like fuck.
Yeah, definitely.
But Kate is kidnapped. That's why I'm like, I side with both of you guys.
Mhm.
Yeah.
I side with both of you. You went through hell, but Jeanette went through so much more. There's a mob mentality
Yeah.
Mhm.
she went through.
Hmm.
Yeah.
And I think it started as hurt people. And I think that Kate was punishing Jeanette because she saw her as taking something that she needed. So she had to
Mhm.
pay.
And even Martin says certain things
Yeah.
when he is that
He is
insinuating.
creepy.
So creepy.
It's so. My younger sister was like, he scares me.
From the
Good.
second
He
I
should.
saw
Yeah.
I
from the
was like,
second I saw him, I said, "This dude is creepy," and it just got worse and worse.
what's so like weird is when people are like, but he is attractive. I'm like, stop it! Stop it.
He is a good looking guy.
I know. I was like, stop.
I don't think he's attractive.
Not now.
Like,
No.
not now.
Used to. Right.
I can separate out actor from character.
I know.
Yes.
Separate
Actor
actor.
is attractive.
That's nice.
Yes,
I love
he
him.
is.
But it wasn't until recently that we started getting like close-up shots of his face. So then you really saw like, oh yeah, he's not a bad looking guy.
I was like, oh my gosh. But yeah, I hope that people aren't like, well, he's attractive. I'm like, he did a shitty thing. Like he did a crime.
Yes.
Yeah.
An awful crime.
Definitely.
Awful crime.
All right. I think
Yeah.
we've got some fan questions for you. Amanda's got a bunch that she's been pulling up.
Okay. Let me see. Okay. One is, well, this is more like a Tennille question. It says, how was she okay with her mother's behavior?
I think she accepts it. I think that she looks up to it, which is not a good thing, you know. But it's, Tennille and Tanya, I think, is also kind of like, look at Kate and her mom,
Hmm.
Yeah.
and
Mhm.
they're in that same crowd, their moms are friends, so I think she kind of like looks up to it in a way. I don't think she sees any real problem.
Hmm.
That's just what she's used to.
Hmm.
Mhm.
Yeah,
That's how she
she
was
knew that her
raised.
whole
That's-
life.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's no other like thing that she's seen.
Yeah.
And it's not like Joy is a shining example of what a human being should be. So I mean, all of her mom's friends are the exact same.
Yeah, it's not like she's really hanging out with any friends who have moms who
Are decent.
show, yeah, who are decent people and really give off any other way to be.
Hmm.
What's with the moms in the show? I'm just now
Right.
thinking about it.
Other than Martin, there are only 3 people that I'm very against, and it's Mallory and Joy and Tanya.
I was shocked about Mallory. I was like, oh my gosh, if I could play any other character, I would want to play Mallory. Like I when I was reading, I was like, oh Mal, and but then everyone hates her. I'm like,
I think
I
I'm
don't
the
hate
only
her.
one who's
Yeah.
consistently not liked her. I know that Jeanette at one point said,
I
"She
like
makes me
her.
laugh. I like her."
Yeah.
I don't hate her and I don't love her. I like Harley Quinn Smith.
oh,
Yes.
Yes.
I'm separating here. But the character
Mhm.
Mallory, I'm still not sure.
Yeah, I was glad that you mentioned that you like, hanging out with Harley. I was like, oh, well, that's nice that she's a good person in real life because her character is all over the place.
no, such a sweetie. Absolutely love her.
So just for the fan base, you can confirm that the character who plays, or the woman who plays Joy, the woman who plays Tanya, the guy who plays Martin, and the girl who plays Mallory are decent people in real life. You can confirm that for the fan base, right?
Everyone in this cast is so nice. Anything that they do as a character, they would not do in real life.
There you
Let's
have it,
hope so.
internet.
Good to know.
Maybe Vince. He's the only good character on this show.
And Derek.
And Derek.
Derek. He was doing a good brother thing.
Was.
Mhm.
All right, another question we have is, what type of movie do you like to act in the most?
I I have never actually done a movie.
Or that you would want to do?
Want to do maybe something like physically that I could do, or like where I would have to be like even like change in appearance, like have pink hair, or like get crazy, get out there.
You could rock some pink hair.
I think I could too. I'm just like waiting for the day where they're like your hair. And I'd be like, okay. Or like if they were like, hey, can you shave your head? I'd be like, I am all for it. You don't even have to ask me twice.
I'm the same way. You can do anything to it.
He'll grow back.
Mhm.
It'll grow back better and stronger.
Exactly.
All right. That's kind of a generic one. What is your favorite song right now?
Ooh.
I like that one.
I'm trying to think. Well, I know Olivia Rodrigo's, she put out her whole album. It's so good. I have definitely been listening to it on repeat. But like another song is, I think it's called Crazy and Stupid by Leon, Leon. Yeah, I think that's how you say it. I remember like I was in my car and I was like, don't cry. I don't know why I'm about to cry about this song.
That's a sign of good writing.
Yeah.
I had a writing teacher in high school in the 90s who said that good writing evokes sensation. So that's a sign of something good.
So Olivia Rodrigo, obviously, that's a given. But
Like her.
the song is also really good.
I'll just say, I'm 31 years old and I listen to Driver's License every day.
So good.
And
It's
I'm like, I can't even relate to it now as my age because I'm married with kids and I'm happy. But like putting myself back into a teenage, I'm like, that is the perfect song.
it's
so good. And Deja Vu.
I also like Jealousy of Jealousy. I really like that one. I'm like waiting for the day where concerts can like really be a thing. So I
Yes.
can just scream out those lyrics.
Yes.
I
know
miss
my-
concerts.
I do too. All right. Another one we have is, what fictional character would be the most exciting to meet in real life?
Of Cruel Summer or just in general?
In general.
Ooh,
Mm.
that's a huge list.
Yeah. That's a,
She's already met everybody in Cruel Summer, so
No pressure.
I know, no pressure. In general, a fictional character. I kind of want to do one where it's like I'm obsessed with like the TV show. You know, I watched Teen Titans. It's a live action version. So if I could actually meet Beast Boy and see him like transform, where I wouldn't, and then I wouldn't get hurt, obviously. But obviously he wouldn't like maul me when he turns into a tiger. But maybe that, just because it's like it's so out there and like crazy.
Mhm.
That's fair.
Couldn't actually happen.
I didn't know there was a live action of that
good.
show.
It is so good. It's really good. I was a Teen Titans fan when it was like Cartoon Network, you know,
Mhm.
not the Teen Titans Go. Teen Titans original. Get it right. But yeah, they have a live action version and it's so good. I'm so obsessed. I hope that
haven't
they
seen it.
bring one character into the live action version.
I like it. I know there's another one. I'm losing it.
There's a few other ones.
I have like 3 computer screens going right now.
She's our Google expert while we do podcasting. So
Yeah,
what's the weirdest
that's-
question you've been asked?
There's a lot sometimes where it's like, are you team Kate or are you team Jeanette? And then sometimes I'm like, both? No, actually
Mhm.
Vincent.
Switzerland.
But I also know that there's sometimes where people are like, what was it like going back to high school? I'm like, I'm only 21.
It hasn't been that
I
long.
feel so old.
Well, you were homeschooled, so you really didn't get that high school experience.
Exactly.
I had high school
Mhm.
experience. So, but like sometimes they'll be like, I know that they're not insinuating that at all, you know.
Yeah.
But sometimes I'm like, why do I feel old and I'm only 21?
You definitely don't look old. You look great.
It's crazy when you give your age because I am almost 20 years older than you. Almost, not quite. I still got a few years.
Yeah, not quite.
Don't worry, I watched Bo Burnham Inside, and there's like one song where he says he's like turning 30. And I'm like, why do I feel like I can relate to the song? I'm not even turning 30.
Do you have a message for the fans? Was another question. I know that Eve has said a couple times that the show makes her feel crazy. Eve. So do you have a message for the fans that can maybe ease their minds a little bit as we go into the final 2 episodes here?
Everything's gonna be answered.
Good.
My heart just
Everything
started racing when you said
okay.
that. I'm so excited.
Everything's gonna be okay.
Like when you say everything, do you actually mean everything? Or is this going to be like a Pretty Little Liars where it's never going to end and we're just constantly be like, what is happening?
Who is A? Who is really A?
I'm sensing a Riverdale thing where another mystery will pop up. It will be like, oh my god.
That's what I'm hoping
Again?
for. Solve one and then go to the next.
We're all hoping for it.
One at a
Yes.
time.
Yeah, one at a time. We have to know who Annabelle is. We have to know we have
Yes.
to know who saw who.
Okay, now before,
Now there's a snow globe.
yes,
Yeah.
that has us completely
Ugh.
stumped. We have no
That
idea
had
what's going on
us
with that.
going insane yesterday when we
not bad.
recorded.
I think I
Taking
just
out-
figured out the necklace and now the snow globe comes up and I'm like, okay.
Taking out all of your knowledge from episode 9 and 10. Get it out of your head. Who did you think Annabelle was before that?
There was 2 things that I thought it was. I thought it was like Kate has like a personality, like, you know.
That's what I said.
And then I also thought, I was like, it might be another kid. I was like, did Martin actually have a kid? And that's like he was lying. This whole time. I had like tons of like things. I was like, Martin has a child. He named it Annabelle. She comes down to the basement. Like they realize that like I was like, this is it. Solve the case. I was like, oh, it has to be like maybe a student.
Mm.
I was like, okay, maybe that's it. But but who knows? Who
You know.
knows?
Can't wait.
You know, but we
We're
don't
sitting
know.
on the edge of our seats. Just know it.
But I like that feeling. I like trying to figure it out on my own.
Yeah, it's fun.
It's
Mhm.
not, I like that it's not like bingeable. You don't get that excitement of
I
being
do
like,
too.
"See it now."
Yeah. Because
Mhm.
I need to and I think Jeanette, how many times do you watch each episode?
At least 2 to 3. I mean, usually 3.
Because
Some
you have
5.
to digest it. You
Some
have to
5.
like take it in. And then there's times when one of us will have, because we usually record our Cruel podcast episode a day or 2 after it airs. And then some of us will say something like, oh wait, no, I didn't realize that. And then we have to go back and watch it again to figure that
Mhm.
out, to change our theory.
Mhm.
Yep.
I'd love to hear all of your guys' theories, actually. You know, when that time comes, please tell me.
Yeah.
But no, I mean, watching it 3 times, really good, because I know that even when we were filming, I asked Tia, I was like, hey, so like, can we like improv? You know, like, is that like a thing? Some TV shows are very like, oh yeah, improv. You do whatever you guys want. But this one, she was like, no. every word, every sentence, everything has a meaning. Everything, like, don't change it. Like, you know. And I was like,
Yeah.
got it.
That's something that we've talked about is that in this
Mm-hmm.
show, everything means something. So even when we're like, I don't know if that means anything, it's like, it's Cruel Summer. It means something.
Something.
It means
Yeah.
something. No, yeah.
I'm
But
like,
Eve,
did you
was
see
it
that
you
person
or-
run by? I think that was something. It's just getting to be crazy over here.
It was either Eve or Amanda who brought up in our last one after episode 7 of maybe the green ring doesn't mean anything. Maybe they're just throwing it in there so they can make us feel like we're insane. And so we can just analyze for days and days. What does this ring mean? And it means absolutely nothing.
I said that
Did you?
because we were really focusing on that ring.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, when he
Probably
the promise ring.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And then the
that
candy
is
ring that
the-
Valerie gave her that was on the same finger, same color.
Yeah.
Mhm.
We catch everything.
Yes.
Have you watched this show since it started airing?
Oh yeah.
Yeah. No, I watched all of it. My family, we had like a huge little like watch party kind of thing.
Oh.
The family, but I got like bagel bites and I tried to get like Push Pops. I tried to make it like 90s themed.
Yes.
for my
I
whole
love
family.
that.
Fun.
The Bagel Bites theme song just popped in my head because that was on constantly in my house.
Yeah.
But yeah, I did that, and then my dad always watches it live, and he actually
so
DVRs it.
I love that.
And then my mom's like a Hulu person. She's like, she goes, I can't stay up till 9.
Yeah.
Same.
Till 9. I'm gonna watch it tomorrow.
I think
Yeah,
I'm the only
that
one that
was-
I'm the only one that watches it live, right?
You're the one who has the
No,
capability to.
Yeah.
I've been able to watch it live now
Oh,
that
that's right.
school's out because I'm a teacher. So I was like, I have to teach 5-year-olds in the morning. I can't stay up until
how my
11
mom is.
o'clock. So, but now that school's out, I said, guys, I can watch it live.
Mhm.
Yeah.
And I would just be thinking all day long. I'm like, I have to focus on teaching these kids. Like I'm
Mhm.
thinking of watching Cruel Summer when I get home.
You're trying to teach 5-year-olds their alphabet. And all you can think of is, what was the purpose of that green ring?
A, B, C, green ring. What is that about? Like, go color. I need to get theories running around.
We have a
And see,
Twitter,
this is
we have
that's
a
what I was
Twitter
gonna say.
account, and go ahead, Jeanette. You talk about that.
no, I was just gonna say that's why I watch it 2 to 3 times, because when I watch it live, I'm live tweeting and trying to like interact. I mean, my dream is to get Sarah Drew to actually interact with me. I'm a
Sarah
big
Drew
fan of
quick,
hers.
so quick
She's
with her
so
live tweets.
fast.
She's so
Mhm.
fast. Sometimes I wonder
Yeah.
if she just saves it in a draft. She's like, I know it's
She's
Oh,
so
that's
fast.
smart.
So fast. Although Olivia's really quick too with, her responses. And I guess this past week, I even laughed because I would type something out, and as soon as I typed it out, she's already typed, and it was almost the exact same words a couple times. And I was
She's
like,
in your head.
we're in sync here. She's just faster than I am.
And Sync was another 90s band. Good smooth reference there.
No, I didn't even
saw
notice.
I
There
saw
we
Also
go.
them
connected to Cruel Summer because it's Justin Timberlake.
True.
See?
There we
Mhm.
go. It's all connected.
It's like this is gonna become a game, the 9 degrees of Cruel Summer instead of the 9 degrees of Kevin Bacon.
Yeah.
It's a thing that I don't know if that's still a thing. Is that still a thing,
it's-
Shelby?
I think it's still a thing.
Okay.
Yes. I actually did it with my friend earlier.
Did you?
I was like, oh, cool. So I know, the person who plays Martin. I know him, and he knows Audrey Plaza. So I'm 1 degree away from Audrey Plaza.
There you go.
That just makes me so happy.
She was on Parks and Rec, right?
So I'm like, and now she knows Amy Poehler. So really, I'm 2 degrees away from Amy Poehler.
That's exciting.
There you go.
Almost there.
That's
see,
really
and-
neat.
Now that I've talked to you, I can say that I am 1 degree from Sarah Drew, who is one of my favorites, right?
And then she all of a sudden, I bet tomorrow on episode 9, it'll happen. I'll be like,
Yep.
Yep.
We have
there you go.
we have a Grey's
Fingers
Anatomy
crossed.
group and Cruel Summer, so we've got her on both. We tried Jeanette live tweet. Did you live tweet for Grey's Anatomy too?
No, I haven't. I've never. I think we're always recording something during
Oh.
Grey's Anatomy time. So,
Right
but that
now.
is actually
Or-
right.
It just finished.
Yeah. But that's why I started watching, because April Kepner is my favorite on Grey's Anatomy. And so I was like, I got to check out her new show. And that's when I roped everybody else into watching too. So
I love
We love. We're
I
huge
had no
Grey's
scenes
Anatomy
with her,
fans.
but I just remember her being on set.
yeah.
She's pretty great. Cindy's another one who I don't have the same feelings of as everybody else. I'm
Oh,
the
what are
negative
you-
Nancy of our podcast. I have problems with Cindy, and everyone else is like, I love her. That episode that was Cindy heavy. They all came on and like, oh, I feel so bad for Cindy. I love her.
You changed my mind though. I was like, you know what? I
I
agree
do
with
that to
Maureen.
people.
She is awful.
That's how my dad was. He was like, wait, you just left? Like,
Yeah, see,
Yeah.
that's what
Shelby's dad gets it.
My dad was like, that's your kid. You always stand by your kid.
I love your dad voice, by the way.
Oh yeah.
Was your family continually trying to pull like information from
My
you on
family,
the show?
My friends.
Everybody wanted a piece of you.
Yeah, I I was like, I physically could not tell you.
Like, guys, I can't stop.
I don't know anything. Just I.
Did you have to
I'm
sign an
Tennille.
NDA? Did you have to sign an NDA as part of the show?
Yeah, I know that. Like, I was like, oh, I don't want to mess up. Like, I was like, I don't want to get fired. I love the show. I don't want anyone to be mad at me. But no, I think we all kind of like knew, like, to be like, because
Yeah.
even like you would only get certain, even for like 9 and 10, you would only get something if you were in the scene. We were
Oh, wow.
very secretive. Like, I mean, but of course, like the cast was like, let's fucking put it together.
Let's
Yeah,
all get together.
So I want us to share our theories with you. We have a question we usually end our podcast with for our casting crew members, and we have that question for you coming up. But I would like us to share our theories with you, and it would be great if you could blink once for yes, you're right, and 2 for no, you're wrong.
So what you're saying is a sampling.
Exactly. For the whole time we're talking, just don't blink at all.
Just Hannibal Lecter it. Just
Or just start blinking like multiple times, like
Uncontrollably.
crazy.
Rapidly. You're just gonna blink rapidly the whole time I'm talking. I think that that Mallory is Annabelle, and I think that Joy knows where Kate is from the day after she goes missing, and Martin knows, Joy knows, and I think that Joy thinks she might be pregnant, so she's having him keep her there. I think that we all think someone else killed Martin the night before he was found because there was no shootout. You didn't hear it, and everyone was surprised. And I think I'm trying so hard to read your facial expressions.
He's
She's
doing
doing-
good.
You're
She's
giving
doing
me
good.
nothing.
I know.
Smile and nod.
Let's do this.
I think let's do this. It's a challenge for you now. I think that Jeanette is going to pull Jamie out of his slump, and they're going to become confidants. I think that Derek is going to solve everything of what's actually happening, and I think Vince and Ben have to end up together at some
They
point.
have to.
I mean, there has
They
to be some
have
sort of
to.
resolution there.
I love them.
That's all I care about.
Favorites. Yeah,
I mean, it's not all I care about.
same.
I want to know who did what in this show. That's what I care about.
I
I
need
think
to know who did what.
I think that Cindy is not a great mother, and I don't think she's ever going to be welcomed back into the fold. And I think that Greg and Angela are going to stay together, and Angela is going to help bring Jeanette out of the darkness that she came from. I think those are all the ones that we have, that I have.
Mhm.
What about you guys?
Oy.
I mean, I
Watch
agree
your
with
face
some
close.
of yours. I know. I agree with some, but I am still sticking with the split personality
Mhm.
theory as far as Annabelle goes. Not necessarily with Kate. I think it might be Martin's split personality.
I'm on board with
Um,
that one too.
Yeah, I'm trying to think what else. I don't know if Joy knows where she is from the day of, but I think Joy is a horrible mother, and at some point she has more involved. She's more involved in this than we know. And then again about the shootout, we believe there's something to do with the way that Martin was killed, which is
Yeah.
not the way that they're portraying it. I think that's it.
I also
there's
believe
still-
Mallory too. We have theories about Mallory.
I think Mallory might have been the one to see Kate rather than Jeanette. So that's my last.
All mine are the exact same as Jeanette. Wow.
I
Because
I
we're
also
right.
think Mallory is involved, though. I think that she is either being forced coercively to keep where Kate is under wraps, and that's why she befriended Kate because she's guilty. But
I
Mallory's
started to
very
believe
evil.
I started to believe that part a little more after this most recent episode. That she was coerced
Mhm.
somehow. I don't know. She's involved somehow. I have
She
to
saw
believe that.
Kate in that window when she was videotaping Martin.
I think she did too.
You're so good at this game.
Just
I
like,
know.
Nothing.
Excellent.
Amanda, did you want to share that one theory about who Annabelle
yeah.
is? The gun?
Yeah.
Oh, let me find it.
There's also one that was put on our page. It did not come from us, but it's got us tripped up. Someone had on our page, her name was Trish, right?
I
Yeah.
think so. Mhm.
Who thinks that Kate actually did get pregnant and she met her daughter, who she named Annabelle, the day she got rescued, but she was so drugged up throughout the time that she wasn't really cognizant. And then when she had Annabelle, Joy whisked her away, and now that's why she's blocking it out, because it's too painful to think about.
which I kind of like that theory. I could get on board with that.
It's a good theory. I mean,
Mhm.
it's out
Pretty
there.
solid. The
but-
timeline lines up perfectly.
We did math.
I was like, what about the timeline? Baby has to be cooked in the oven.
She was gone for 10 months.
She's gone for 10 months. It works.
Okay, so and I just found this on a random thing last night, and I was like, this is another insane theory. This one says, my first thought was that Annabelle isn't a who, but a what? Totally off the wall theory that Annabelle is a gun. Specifically, it's the gun that Martin's dad killed himself with. The gunshot that Jeanette, Jamie, and Vince heard was from Annabelle being fired that night. I thought that
Pretty
was
cool.
pretty out
You
there.
Yeah.
know that there's also the two-way mirror theory,
Yep.
Yeah.
like all over everywhere.
That's kind of like fallen a little by the wayside now that all these other puzzle pieces have come
Yes.
into the mix. So now I'm sitting here thinking, wait, what about the two-way mirror? Like that
Right.
kind of just went away.
It
And
did.
Yeah.
the door that's next to the mirrors. Where
Yeah,
does it
and then-
go?
Video camera? Because there's
Mhm.
definitely a video camera there too.
Well, that's how he watches her.
I mean, it was pretty darn creepy. So, I mean, it has to be part of this somehow, but it kind of hasn't been really mentioned since like the first 3 episodes or so.
Yeah.
Mm.
So it has to feel pretty good to know that you are on a show that not only is everyone in the United States talking about the show, trying to figure it out, but you know that after episode 10 airs, everyone's still going to be talking about the show and how they can't believe that this happened over that, or they can't believe that this is really how it went over that. So, I mean, you're going to be in a show that's going to be relevant for a very long after it's ended.
Hopefully.
Yes, I think so too. So we have our final question for you. Jeanette, you want to ask that?
Yeah. Do you have any like upcoming projects that you want to share with the audience and just tell us about or anything like that?
As of right now, I'm just kind of like, I know I have like some things in the works, but then I know that I write, so I'm just kind of writing, doing all that stuff. But other than that, I'm kind of just chilling in Texas. Yeah, just writing, doing what I can, and just watching Cruel Summer.
What do you write?
I wrote a pilot for a
Ooh.
show.
Oh.
Yeah, I wrote it. It was funny because my friend was like, I really like this, and what got me, and I was like, I understand. I want to do this. Like, I'll help in any way that I can. She was like, I just want to pretend that we're doing something. I just like with COVID and everything, nothing's happening. I don't feel like I'm doing much. But can we pretend that we are doing something?
Yes.
And I was like, I love playing pretend. Let's just pretend we're doing this. But then it became like, it's like, again, snowball effect. And I was like, wait, this is actually really good. Like, I think we're actually going to try to like do this. But yeah,
That's
hopefully it
amazing.
works out.
Exciting.
When you are
Yeah.
able to tell us what that project is, we would love to know what that project is, and we'd like to support you and let our
Mhm.
group know exactly what you're working on.
Yeah, I will definitely tell. I know that like Tiny Tibet is 2 teens get in a car accident and then they're left in a purgatory state. And kind of seeing where that goes, what is in this purgatory state.
Mm-hmm.
I like to think of it as like a Stranger Things.
Yeah,
Sounds
that sounds
interesting.
interesting. That's not
always
something that I've
the
seen
up
before,
and down.
really.
Yeah, I was like, it seems like really cool. I like what we have so far. And it's cool because it's all like kind of fantasy, which is
Mhm.
not something that I ever was like. I was like, wow, I've never done this before, but you can go anywhere.
It's true. That's
Yeah.
awesome.
You really can. That's awesome. I love that.
Well, we really want to thank you for coming on, Shelby. We love your character in the way that we can love a vapid character.
We
like
love
you
how
in
you
that
portrayed
character.
her.
Yes.
You do a great job.
You were not hating her? No.
But we just want to thank you for coming on. We want to thank you for talking to us, and we cannot wait for everyone else to see this and interview it. And we know that everyone is going to have opinions on your facial expressions as we gave you our theories. So we'll.
I know they're gonna be like zoom in right there. There's a twinkle in the eye.
She blinked once just then.
She got real quiet.
They'll have to watch it 3 times, just like every episode of
Yes.
the show.
Exactly. All right. Thank you so much, Shelby.
Thank you.
It's nice talking to you.
Bye.
Bye.